Welcome to Whiskey Obsession's review of Maker's 46. Maker's 46 is the first new product from Maker's Mark since the original. It's distilled at 94 proof. Hi everyone, Justin Dillon from whiskeyobsession.com, and today we're going to be reviewing Maker's 46. Now, from the beautiful red wax, we know that this comes in the name, we know it comes from Maker's Mark. But what's interesting is the history of Maker's Mark. It only dates back about 50 odd years when Bill Samuels Sr. decided he wanted to make a better tasting bourbon. Well, he did this by replacing the rye in the mash bill with wheat. So Maker's Mark and Maker's 46 are both wheaten bourbons. A couple of years back, he took on another challenge. He wanted to remove the bitter bite from bourbon, but keep the smooth, soft sweetness of Carmel and Vanilla. Well, instead of changing the mash bill, he changed the barrel. Why not? That's where bourbon gets a lot of its flavor, is from the aging process in the barrel. Well, Maker's 46, they start with fully matured and perfected Maker's Mark. Then what they do is they empty the contents of the barrel, remove its lid, and attach 10 seared French oak staves inside of the barrel. What happens is, when they sear those staves, they seal in the tannins but allow a caramelization to take place, releasing natural sugars. They put the lid back on, they reintroduce the matured Maker's Mark to the barrel, let it age for several more months. So you're getting, when you get Maker's 46, you're getting it, it's going to be slightly older than regular Maker's Mark. So call it 6 to 7 years old. They don't age the bottles. 2, it's a little bit higher proof too. Actually, it's considerably higher proof. It's 94 proof, which is 47% alcohol by volume. Now, after they've soothed and mellowed in a cooler environment to help draw out those sugars, they bottle it, hand wax it, so no two bottles will ever be alike with the waxing, and then it's presented to you. So, one interesting little side note, because I love little factoids about the whiskeys, Maker's Mark and Maker's 46 is one of only 2, maybe 3 that I can think of off the top of my head, American-made whiskeys that actually spell whiskey without the E. If you look at the bottle, it's spelled W-H-I-S-K-Y. Now this is a throwback to Samuel's Scottish heritage. So I'm really excited to open it and share it with you. So let's get right to it, shall we? I'm always afraid when I do this because you only get one shot at it. And I really want to thank Jim Beam and the crew at Beam Global for supplying us with this to review. They've been just a wonderful, wonderful treat to associate with and to get to know. So here we go. I love that sound. So it has its seal, S6. Now, we're going to go ahead and we're going to start pouring this. And what you're going to see is a beautiful color. It's gorgeous. Now, it's fairly light colored. It's not really deep. It's kind of a smoky amber color. A little bit of goldenness to it. It's just really pretty. So let's get this aerating. And the nose, it's wonderful. There's very little nasal burn coming off of it. Now we will add water to it because it is 94 proof, but we're going to do that off camera. And as I keep aerating it, it gets softer. And it's really what's softening is the oak sense. But the caramel and the vanilla is just becoming more and more present. So What they were setting out to do is soften the bitter bite, which comes from the oak, and that's really normally kind of heavy on the nose, and draw out that caramel and vanilla. And so far on the nose, they've absolutely accomplished their goal. It is wonderful. Now we'll do the first sip without water, and then we'll introduce the water to it, and we'll go back to nosing. But the first sip's important because that's going to tell us how much water to add. And that's going to be covered more in an upcoming video called Whiskey 101, Whiskey for Beginners, basically. I just love the aromas. Now we're going to add a little bit of water to it. It's very bold and very rich right now. There's a kind of a creamy sensation to it, but the oak is still really prevalent. So I'm going to see if I add a little bit of water to it. I don't know if this is on camera or not. But didn't affect the color much at all. But right on the nose, the effects are right there. That caramel is coming out just bursting and beautiful. The subtleness of the vanilla is there. It's very sweet now. Amazing. The water cuts down the oak. It's still very bold. It's still very rich. But the caramel and the vanilla, it's right there. It finishes beautifully right on the very tip of your tongue. It's almost, and I moved it all through my mouth, and it just in the mouth it just draws right back and stays on the tip of your tongue. It's not really a finish, but that's where it stays, no matter what. So, and we're still aerating it. Now, original Maker's Mark, I always preach no ice, but original Maker's Mark, I have to admit, I love pouring it over ice and enjoying it, especially on warmer days. Now, this one, just the splash of water, oh, that caramel is so pronounced now, but aerate it. Get it moving so that you can really experience it. So, really getting that moving. And there it is. Just all the flavors are there, so we know it's balanced. It's a wonderful blend. The caramel and the vanilla stay right on the tip of your tongue the entire time. The rich boldness of it fills your mouth, and it lets you know that you're drinking a well-crafted whiskey, and you get the original hints of original Maker's Mark, but there's something so different about it. It's still creamy. It's still creamy. Sorry about that. And there's still that oak, but the presence of the caramel and the vanilla is just so pronounced. That sweetness is wonderful. I have to admit, this shirt's probably seen a lot more whiskey than it appears in the videos. Incredibly consistent, and the finish is going to be amazing. It really is. I can't wait to tell you all about the finish here in a second. But the flavors are consistent. It's rich, it's bold, It has a nice creaminess about it. The oak is there, but it's not bitter in your mouth. And the sweetness and the caramel just stay with you. It's right there on the tip of your tongue the entire time. So, you know, incredible craftsmanship went into this. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to take this as the finish. It's a big oak finish. It's incredible. It's warm, but there's no bitter bite. They actually accomplished their goal of removing it. So if you're new to whiskey and you're just starting to drink bourbon, this is a great starting point for you. If you're a veteran and you've been drinking whiskey for a while, you consider yourself a connoisseur or an enthusiast, and you like regular Maker's Mark for the little bit of extra money, pick up the 46, enjoy it as a daily drink. It's, again, a wheaten bourbon, so like we talked about with Rebel Yell, it's a great way to introduce someone to whiskey. Not incredibly complex, but very direct. They set out to present a product to you that was sweet, remove the bitter bite, have the warmth and everything you appreciate about whiskey, just you don't get the bitter bite. And the neat thing about the finish just now is it's not lingering, it's not long, but that caramel and the vanilla just sits on your lips and on the tip of your tongue. Everything moves right back to that to draw that sweetness. So, exceptional work, wonderful craftsmanship. Like I said, pick up a bottle of it, keep it on your shelf, keep it in your bar, introduce people to it who have never drank whiskey. If someone's like, oh, I don't drink whiskey because I had a bad experience, introduce them to Maker's 46. It'll change their view. It really will. And if you're new to it, pick up a bottle. It's very reasonably priced. It's definitely something worth having around. So, once again, I want to thank Beam Inc. and Jim Beam and Bill Samuels especially for, spending 50 years of his life creating Maker's Mark and then taking on this challenge. It's been a real treat to enjoy this whiskey. It's been a great experience to share it with you, and I look forward to a few more videos coming up here, and actually a lot more videos, and spending a lot more time with you guys. Once again, Justin Dillon from WhiskeyObsession.com. I'm going to ask you to thumbs up the video, like it, leave your comments, and email me. Email me a lot. I love hearing from you guys. I try to respond to everyone's emails and comments, but we're probably going to do a question and answer video, maybe even a live chat. So if you're interested in any of that, let me know, give me the feedback, and we'll put it together, okay? Thanks again, Justin Dillon with WhiskeyObsession.com. Have a great day.